So Connor, do you want to demonstrate the chair humping for those who might not have seen it?
Yeah, sure.
I'm just
It's the PokerNews Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 919 of the PokerNews Podcast. I am Chad Holloway, joined by Mike Holtz and Connor Richards, sitting in for Ben Ludlow this episode. Connor, welcome back to the show. It's been a while.
It has been a while. I've been on the road for like over a month. I was in Barcelona, then South Korea for a Triton event. So it's good to be back in Vegas.
And we're going to have some great stories to talk about. We're going to start with Brad Owen and his YouTube channel being banned, but then reinstated, which leads to a larger discussion about poker content on YouTube. Martin Kabrhel won a WSOP bracelet in Europe. We're going to talk about that win as well as some other bracelet winners. I'll tell you about some of my recent adventures, including a Dolphins game and Mötley Crüe. We're going to talk about a new cash game coming to the Venetian, featuring the reigning World Series of Poker main event champ, all in with Jason Koon during the NAPT. The NAPT Gold Pass giveaway, of course, we'll have a new code word for you, CSOP, and we're going to get to recent tournament winners. And then Connor, we'll tease your new show as well. Let's start, boys, with Brad Owen. Sent out a tweet recently that his YouTube channel for Brad Owen Clips was taken down. He wasn't given any strikes, any warning, and was very confused as to what happened. Ultimately, it did get reinstated, I believe. But this is indicative of a larger issue because we've been seeing this for a while now. Connor, Mike, either of you want to weigh in? What's your thoughts about the current YouTube poker content landscape?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and start just because it's something we've thought a lot actually as poker media at Poker News. We have a big presence on YouTube. We're thinking about these things. We want to be in line with regulations and content policies and all that. But what I think is so alarming about it is kind of just how arbitrary it seems to be. You know, there doesn't really seem to be any rhyme or reason to why people are getting these strikes. It isn't clear, you know, what they violate. They'll get some kind of blanket statement that says, you know, they violated terms of service or content policies, but it isn't very specific. And the other thing that's scary is, you know, Brad Owen is the OG of these poker YouTubers. He's, if anyone would be untouchable or seen as, you know, someone in the industry who wouldn't be impacted by this, it'd be him. So we've seen this in the past with some smaller up and coming vloggers, people like Nick Eastwood. Chad, I remember you talked to him about having this issue. Kevin Martin's also had issues, but the fact that Brad Owen, who also I'll say is, you know, very much seen as one of the good guys in the industry, he's good for the game. And so to see him impacted by this, again, there's other streamers who represent, you know, unregulated sites and things like this, and they don't seem to have any issues. So I would say there just needs to be some consistency, and it's certainly looking bleak for the poker content landscape, although it is good that his account was reinstated.
Well, here's the thing that worries me is that it seems like slot content and sports betting content and things that seem geared toward the younger generation and have more of a house-driven profit margin are all being pushed, where a game like poker, which is a game of skill, certainly much more than slots or sports betting. I mean, obviously there are people who win at sports betting, there are sharps, but it's much more rare than poker. And I don't see how this is an overall net positive for the world. You know what I mean? To be shutting down poker and then promoting slot content, which, by the way, some of that sports betting stuff, like the stake.com and everything, like they're promoting porn stuff in the background too, like porn websites and stuff. It just seems very strange to me that YouTube would go after poker. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it does seem like poker's kind of getting lumped in with some of that, maybe less, like you said, less skill-based stuff. And also,
it seems like a lot of it's not even getting lumped in; it's being excluded,
Sure.
and that stuff is almost like allowed, right?
Yeah.
I get fed slot content all the time and sports betting stuff, and you know, Maddie Betts picks, and you know, all this stuff, and it seems to be promoted heavily on all social platforms.
Yeah,
I mean, as a poker content creator on YouTube, which we are, you know, the show is on YouTube, certainly worries me a little bit. I'm not privy, like I don't manage the YouTube channel. We have a team here at Poker News that does that. I don't know if this show has gotten any strikes before. I know the Poker News YouTube channel has. But yeah, I definitely think there needs to be some differentiation between poker and other kind of games, like you mentioned, Mike, and then just also different things of poker, right? There's a difference between people who are streaming on, say, unregulated sites, and then a show like ours and vloggers, et cetera, et cetera. Negreanu recently put out a post because he's been streaming the online bracelet events from GG Poker. He was up in Vancouver, and he's saying his views are a fraction of what they used to be because it's not getting pushed on the algorithm, apparently. So it would be great to have some sort of contact at YouTube. I don't know if anybody does. I know Brad Owen did put a follow-up tweet out that said he appreciated a lot of the outpouring from the poker community, that it did get reinstated, but he is still encouraging people to explore other platforms because this seems to keep happening, and it doesn't seem like, Connery, like you mentioned, there's zero consistency. And yeah, I mean, maybe it's one of these things we try to reach out to somebody at YouTube and get some clarity, but it sounds like a lot of it is just, automated AI, algorithmic, and there's no like point of contact at YouTube. Like, remember Twitch Poker? There used to be Scott Ball was the head of Twitch Poker. There's no head of YouTube Poker, unfortunately. So,
well, what's interesting is every week when the Poker News podcast comes out, I go to YouTube and I don't even have to search for it. It pops right up at the front of the thing. Last 2 weeks, I've had to search for it. It hasn't popped up in my recommended or suggested. And I just now thought of that. Like that has happened. So it's kind of weird, right? It seems like they are,
Maybe I'll rant about this just a bit, but like you were saying, Mike, this poker content is really not the stuff that social media needs to be regulating heavily and going after. I mean, just in the age of political misinformation being rampant and algorithms pushing that stuff, and like you said, the less reputable gambling content, slot stuff, sports betting stuff, it just seems like a complete misappropriation of priorities.
Yeah, everything's a clusterfuck lately. I don't know what's going on anymore.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? Well, boys, let's talk about another story that actually broke last night as we're recording this, and that is Martin Kabrhel. We actually did an episode a few weeks back about his online merchandise. Well, he might get a spike in sales because he just won his 5th WSOP gold bracelet, this one taking place at King's Casino for the WSOP Europe. I believe it was event number 10, a 10,000 euro buy-in PLO mystery bounty. Took it down for 188,000 euros plus 62,000 euros in mystery bounties, defeating Robert Cohen heads up. This one kind of came out of nowhere for us, Connor.
It really did. It's one of those things where we've got people there at WSOP Europe live reporting. It's the festival's happening, but you don't really expect. There's only a handful of really big, super high profile names there, and you don't really expect something like this to come up. So when this happens on a Tuesday evening, it becomes a big story for us. And I know John was excited to write this up, but yeah, Kabrhel, what a summer and now fall for him. He won a bracelet. He won the mini main at the WSOP, and now here he is. He's kind of dubbed the King of Kings Casino over there, so it's really his home turf over there in the Czech Republic. But yeah, he continues to get results.
It's his 5th overall bracelet, 2nd of the year, won the mini main over the summer. Now this one, but as he says, Mike, there's still a week left. Maybe a 3rd bracelet in 2025 is coming.
Sure, Kabrhel's obviously a beast, really good at poker. I wonder, what do you guys think about how many entrants were in this event?
Let me look. I got the recap right here.
It's just like he won 18 buy-ins, right? It's like
well, it's been small fields from what I've seen.
Yeah, it seems like I almost want to say, like, what do you guys think about putting bracelets in Europe in a different category almost? And same with online bracelets too at this point. Like, I have an online bracelet.
To answer your question, Mike, 88.
And that's not unique, right? So there might be 50 unique entries in the field, and like you can just fire multiple bullets to win a bracelet. I'm not saying that's what Kabrhel did or anything, but I think it is interesting that like you look at the field size, like you win a tournament in Vegas, most of the time a 10K, it's going to have way more than 88 people. So I personally do think that they should have different categories at this point, but who knows? Maybe I'm in the minority.
No, I mean, we've had that conversation before about online bracelet events, and I actually do refer to it in like articles that I write, online bracelet winner as opposed to just WSOP bracelet winner. Sure. And maybe it is time for the differentiation with WSOP Europe. There's no more WSOP Asia Pacific right now, but that was another category. From what I'm hearing, I can't get into too much because I don't think it's officially announced yet. But from what I've been hearing, it sounds like the WSOP Europe will be somewhere else next year, which probably is a good thing. I've never been to Kings. Connor, have you made the trip over there?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I mean, look, I lived vicariously through Negreanu's vlogs when he used to go, but it doesn't sound like there's anything to do there. There's nothing in the surrounding area. So maybe a change of venue will be good and will spike the numbers a little bit. So we're going to talk about some other WSOP Europe winners here later in the episode. But I want to move on to our next story, which is a new game coming to Venetian Poker Live. We often talk about the Venetian Poker. We have Owen's game. And we had talked about Kabrhel and even Michael the Grinder Mizrachi playing in that game. Well, it has been revealed that Michael the Grinder Mizrachi is going to debut Grinder's game tomorrow, Friday, October 3rd, 5 p.m. Pacific time. It's going to be once a month. Will always be on a Friday, a 50-100 no limit hold'em game with a 5K minimum buy-in. And I just think it's kind of cool. We have a big name, reigning main event champ, the most recent Poker Hall of Famer with a recurring cash game that's going to be live streamed for the masses. I'm pretty excited about it. And who knows, like I can afford one 5K buy-in. I'll probably lose it in one hand, but it sounds like fun. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, he's been so busy. I just think Mizrachi's, he was already a very well-known player, but I think he's been such a good ambassador after winning the main event. There was the Anti for Autism event. He played at South Point like a week after the WSOP. You know, this is like $100 buy-in tournament, something like that. He has no problem being there. He's playing all these live stream cash games. I don't know if you guys saw this actually, but I talked to Mizrachi last week for a podcast thing, and he was actually in Europe driving around in the Gumball 3000 rally.
No way.
He was racing a Lamborghini. I want to say he said he was driving for like 15 hours or something like that all over Europe. So, and again, now he's back here in Vegas. So he's just been really busy, and I think he's doing more than his fair share of being a good ambassador.
Yeah, I agree. I think Mizrachi's great for the game, and it's nice to see him so forward-facing now that he's won and he's out there doing everything. So great for poker and good for Mike. You know, that's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to be seeing him in just a few weeks for the World Tournament of Slots. You know, speaking of staying busy, October 22nd through the 26th, he's going to be down at the Atlantis on Paradise Island in the Bahamas. So I'm going to catch up with him there. And yeah, I agree with you, Connor. He's doing a great job as an ambassador. He's been around for so long, and he just is embracing the spotlight, and I love to see it. And I'm going to look forward to this live stream cash game each month, and we'll probably do like a recap for PokerNews, or at least keep an eye for big hands, because I'm sure some will be played. And I'm curious to know who he'll get in the game. Like, right, he's going to bring some of his friends, so we might see his brother Robert, we might see Chino. Who knows who will come, but pretty exciting. Another thing that's exciting is All In with Jason Koon. This is a special event that's going to be taking place during the NAPT at Resorts World. So anybody who wins a silver pass or a gold pass, including whoever wins the gold pass giveaway here on the PokerNews podcast, is going to be invited to this All In with Jason Koon, which is kind of like a moderated conversation with the PokerStars ambassador, where he'll offer some insights to the game. There'll be a Q&A where you can ask him any questions that you want, which is a big deal, right? Like, access to Jason Koon is not the easiest thing in the world. He usually only plays high rollers. So this is going to take place, as I said, during the NAPT November 5th, which is a Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. local time. So if you win a silver pass, you win a gold pass, you will be invited. You can bring a guest, but other than that, it's not open to anybody else. I don't know. What do you guys think about this opportunity to have a conversation with Jason Koon and then ask a question? It also begs the question, if you could ask Jason Koon one question, what would it be? Who wants to chime in?
So I think it is a really cool opportunity. Like you kind of hit the nail on the head there, Chad. Jason Koon is not a very accessible player. I kind of take this for granted as someone in poker media who gets to go behind the ropes. And like I said, I was just at a Triton event, but he's really not one of these guys who plays the super high roller, like an Alex Foxen, who plays the super high rollers, but then hops in the lower buy-in events. So he really is, kind of an exclusive and hard to get player. So chance to ask him a question, that would be cool. I've never interviewed him, so this is actually a good question. What would I want to ask him? I don't know. Maybe Mike can weigh in and we can come back to me on that one.
I would go with something like, what is the single best exploitative live read that you exploit on people on a regular basis? Something to do with that.
That's a good one. Okay, I came up with mine. Mine would be what nationality do you think are the best high stakes pros? Is it the Americans? Is it the Europeans? Because of course he's an American, so he might be biased in that regard. But that's also, I want to know. I've often thought that. I look at all the all-time money list, and it's interesting to think about. So that's what I'd want to ask him.
I'd ask something inappropriate, like how much did you pay for your house, or how old were you when you lost your virginity? Something that's
do the curtains match the drapes?
Touche. This event, as I mentioned, is going to be open to Silver Pass winners and Gold Pass winners, which is a good time for me to drop the latest code word for our NAPT Gold Pass giveaway. Remember, this has been taking place over the course of this show and the MSPT podcast presented by PokerNews, which I host with Kinda England. We had an episode last week, which there was a code word. We'll have one next week as well. That one is every other week. But all told, there'll be 10 code words that spell out a phrase. And at the end, in the final episode, about 3 weeks from now, October 23rd, you will send me that code word and you will be entered to win one gold pass worth $10,000. You'll get access to All In with Jason Koon. So this week's code word is better, as in Better Call Saul. That's we'll see. I'm not going to tell you the first, the ones that came before this, because I want you to go back and watch those episodes. But I think this is our 5th code word that we have given away. So 5 more to go. Mike, you got any idea what it might be? Don't say the words, before, but
I got nothing. No idea.
Good, because I didn't tell you. I didn't tell Connor. I haven't told anybody. Keeping this one a secret. So,
are you ready for the poker experience of a lifetime? Head to PokerStars and take one of the many opportunities to win a Silver Pass. That gets you an exclusive package to NAPT 2025. See you in Las Vegas, my babies.
Let us move on to our next story, and that is... actually, before I go too far, I do want to shout out real quick. I almost forgot. NAPT PokerStars asked me to help get the word out on a special hotel room rate that they have for Resorts World. So if you are looking to go to the NAPT and haven't booked yet, the festival is coming up just over a month away. You can go to @PS Live Travel, their website, psta.rs/NAPT travel. That's a lot, so I'm just going to link to it in the show notes, but you can check out room rates there. Let's talk Charity Series of Poker. Connor, you were there. I was there at their St. Jude event, which is the largest of the year. It was at Red Rock. Mike, I was kind of surprised I didn't get to see you out there.
I satellited into an 1100 on a website online, and it didn't make it out. But I was going to come if I busted before like 8 o'clock, and I ended up bubbling, but later on.
Well, we had a good time, Connor. It was, as I mentioned, the largest event of the year. There was Joey Ingram stopped by and played a little bit before he went to his meetup game. Matt Stout and, of course, his entire team were there. You, myself, Tyler, and Adam, our producer / editor, were all there. It was a fun time. I lasted the longest, but didn't make the final table. But still, a lot of drinks, a lot of food, and all for a good cause.
It was a really fun time. Joe Stapleton was there. He gave introductory remarks and kind of emceed the whole thing. It was great seeing Joe. You mentioned Joey Ingram was also there. I got to play with Joey Hamilton, who was a celebrity bounty. And for those who don't recognize the name, he's a famous tattoo artist who's actually a winner of Ink Master. And I believe he has a store here in Vegas. Last time I played with him, I actually knocked him out. And the bounty prize I got was a $100 gift certificate to get a tattoo. So maybe leave comments if you want to see what sort of $100 tattoo I want to get. That'd be interesting. This time around, he actually knocked me out, though. So didn't get a bounty this time. Yeah.
So I actually I played with him at the last Charity Series of Poker, or maybe it was 2 before that, and we got talking. He loves sneakers, just like I do. He's always rocking Jordan 4s, which actually, coincidentally, I have on a pair today. But he awesome guy, and he's got a tattoo shop. It's in Fashion Show Mall. Yeah,
really nice guy.
Well, we put together a little highlight package from the CSOP St. Jude to give you a look at what it was like to be there. Check it out.
Chad Holloway for Poker News here at the Charity Series of Poker, the CSOP benefiting St. Jude. This is the biggest event of the year for the CSOP. I was with Matt Stout last night. I've seen how much work he's put into this. It's going to be a big one. He took this event over from Daniel Negreanu several years ago. When it comes to premier charity poker events, it doesn't get much better than this. Let's go in there and check it out.
So on behalf of St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, I am honored to welcome you to tonight's unforgettable gathering, a celebration of hope, courage, and the power of dreaming big, and also some of the wackiest poker you're likely to see for the entire year.
All right, so there you have it, the CSOP for St. Jude. It's a heck of a night. It's still going on. Poker News will have a winner's recap. We'll get some details after the fact. But in the meantime, I'm going to go get another drink and enjoy the rest of the night. Chad Holloway for Poker News here at the CSOP.
All right, we are back, and it is time for recent tournament winners this week, presented by PokerStars North America. And we're going to start there in Las Vegas with the 2025 Poker Masters taking place at Poker Go Studio. As we're recording this, I believe it's the last event is taking place in the race for the purple jacket. And actually, there might be two events left here now that I'm looking. But regardless, there's been some winners. We talked about David Coleman last week because it had just started. Since then, we've seen Mike Zolker, Andrew Moreno, Darren Elias, Chino Ream, Alex Foxen, Kerry Katz, and Win Lee all taking down titles. I don't know. I was really happy to see Andrew Moreno, former Win Millions champ, a good friend of mine, the husband of Christy Arnett or Christy Moreno, who used to work for Poker News. So I was really excited to see that. Mike, did you recognize any of the other names? I mean, of course, everyone knows Darren Elias, Chino Ream, Alex Foxen, but like Mike Zolkner, Win Lee. What's your thoughts on the Poker Masters?
Win Lee, I can't put a face to the name, but maybe if I saw his face, I'd recognize him. Everybody else I know, Mike Zolker and I have played a bunch of times. A very familiar cast of faces in the Poker Masters there. Chino Ream, Alex Foxen winning. Kind of a who's who of the poker world in there. And then Kerry Katz getting one in there, stockpiling the cash a little higher.
It's the race for the purple jacket, which is at this point pretty prestigious. You know, the Poker Masters have been around a long time. As we're recording this, Alex Foxen is ahead on top of the leaderboard, 429 points. Mitch Halverson, 330 points. I know he grinds a lot in Vegas.
That's my guy.
Yeah, I like Mitch. Yeah,
Mitch is my dog. He's the best.
Well, he's got a shot because he's had 3 cashes, 0 wins, but he's got a lot of points. David Coleman in 3rd place, Steven Song in 4th, and Chino Ream sitting in 5th. I don't know, Connor, you got a preference. Who would you like to see win the coveted purple jacket at the 2025 Poker Masters?
That's a good question. I also really like Andrew Moreno, Chad. Like you said, I know Christy used to work in poker media, and also right when I was getting into poker was kind of around the time Andrew won the Win Millions. I remember being really inspired by some of his posts after that. So it's good to see him have success. I'll probably go ahead and say Alex Foxen, though, just because I've been following him a little bit the last couple of weeks. He was there in Triton. I actually got to witness him like running a triple barrel bluff that he got caught bluffing on the river, but it's just been cool to watch him. And I don't know, I've always liked Foxen. So yeah, let's say him.
His wife, Kristen Foxen, as we're recording this, is the chip leader of the final 6 in event number 9, the 15K No Limit Hold'em, but has a tough field to go through. Justin Saliba, Jesse Lonis, of course, at a final table. Chris Hunichin and Sam Laskowitz also at that final table.
Wow.
That's a pretty tough one.
Yeah, for sure. It's a really tough one. I'd like to watch that and see how that one plays out. It's a bunch of killers.
Yeah.
You can definitely check it out on Poker Go, and we'll be back next week to let you know who does in fact win that purple jacket, as all will be wrapped up by then. In the meantime, let's go on to our next winner, which was Jared Passanante. I think I got that one, actually. His first live tournament title came in the 2025 Midwest Poker Championship. This was a $600 main event that took place at the Reserve Poker Club, which is it in Ohio, Connor?
That sounds
Toledo,
right.
I think.
Toledo, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's just where our colleague Tyler was. So that sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
my boy, the Rapping Poker Bot on Instagram. Rapping Poker Bot on Instagram. Check him out. He was there promoting it too. It's pretty sick.
I mean, this was a $1 million guaranteed tournament for a $600 buy-in. They had multiple starting flights, 2,270 entries throughout those. So it did surpass the guarantee prize pool of just over $1.1 million. Jared Passanante took down $165,000 after a heads-up deal with Lucas Ray, who got $130,000. So I love to see it. This is a Midwest, a seven-figure prize pool. The reserve seems like a beautiful room. I haven't been there. But it just shows you that the $600 and turning that into as much as they did, a nice six-figure score. Hope to see more of these. Poker News was on site, so you can go back and check out those live updates. And kudos to those at the reserve. Let's talk about some WSOP Europe winners. We already mentioned Martin Kabrhel. There are still several events left. It looks like 5 events still that need to crown winners, including the main event. But there have already been 10 winners. Martin Kabrhel is the biggest name. Tobias Peters, Renji Mao took down a title. Yuhan Wang. Yeah, look, like we said at the top of the episode, I don't know, it's kind of hard to get excited about the WSOP Europe. At least for me, I think you guys are in the same boat. You don't see Sean Deeb, you don't see Negreanu, Helmy with these guys going over there anymore. So just, I don't know, lacks a little oomph.
Yeah,
what do you guys
agree.
think?
No, that's exactly how I feel. I think it just lacks the oomph that WSOP does. The excitement isn't there. To be honest with you, I didn't even know what was going on until a couple days ago. So like that should tell you all you need to know about that.
Yeah, hopefully, like you said, Chad, them moving to a new venue, that might bring some new life into it. But also, like we were saying, it just really makes it pop when someone like Kabrhel wins, because that's got to be the biggest name over there by far who could have won. So at least that was a big story.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good timing too, right? Like now it is on everybody's mind, and there are still events going on. There's a 25K taking place right now. Poker News is there. We're doing live updates from all the events, so you can follow those through October 8th, which I believe is the last day of the WSOP Europe. All right, let's talk about a new poker room coming to Vegas. Well, it's a new old poker room because Green Valley Ranch has announced that before the year is over, they are going to reintroduce their poker room, which has been shuttered since the pandemic. It used to be 8 tables. They're going to double it to 16 tables. This is part of a $200 million remodel of the venue. And I think this makes it will make it the 21st poker room in Las Vegas. Planet Hollywood recently opened one. I don't know. Good news, right? Like the more poker, the better in Las Vegas is my thinking.
I think it's good news for sure because, again, in the time that I've been in poker, really when I was getting seriously into poker was kind of during the COVID pandemic, and that really just decimated live poker in Vegas. Obviously, a lot of all rooms shut down temporarily, but many didn't open their doors at all afterwards. And so, but again, you've seen a lot of good recent developments. Chad, you mentioned Planet Hollywood opened. We held a meetup game over there over the summer. It's a lot of fun, very lively room. Now you see this at Green Valley Ranch. I'm never over there much, but I know that's our homeboy John Sofin's favorite spot. So if we can get him out at the poker tables, then I'm sure he'll be excited. But seems to be moving in a good direction. One other thing I'll mention that is kind of related is Washington, D.C. recently put forward an initiative to legalize poker there to kind of reinvigorate the local economy. I believe it's actually the mayor who is pushing for this. So good to see some more growth for U.S. poker, and yeah, hopefully some.
When you say that, you mean is it live poker, online poker? What's the initiative there?
It's for live poker, so they want to bring it. They want to stimulate the local economy by having casino games, and that includes poker, and to hire people to dealers and things like that. So
now I was born in D.C. I grew up in Ocean City, Maryland, most of my life, and this is like 3 hours out of Ocean City. I was under some National Harbor's in DC, is it not?
Yeah, sorry. Let me correct this. I think I got it wrong. The initiative is not to legalize poker; it's to expand poker and to I believe offer poker and play maybe places like bars or restaurants. Let me pull up the article just
okay, because so that's what I didn't read the article, but I had I'd seen it on social media. Someone had posted this earlier today, and I skimmed through it, and it kind of confused me because I just thought, MGM already has a National Harbor product. So,
but that's not like technically in DC, right? That's just, it's close. I've never been to National Harbor. It's my understanding that it's like real close to Washington.
Maybe
DC,
it just ends up being in Maryland because of it.
Yeah.
Because Maryland has.
Yeah. So John, who wrote this article and reported on this, he did frame it as an effort to legalize live poker. So maybe specifically within DC, it hadn't been legalized, but looks like the mayor's going forward with a proposal to authorize and tax live poker, blackjack, and bingo. And it's called the Poker and Blackjack Gaming Authorization Act of 2025.
Sick. All for it.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get a big event in Washington, D.C. and play the final table on the White House lawn.
Yeah, that would be perfect right in between the UFC event and then the public executions. Good to go.
All right. Well, let us talk about a mixed game series that's coming to Las Vegas. Shouting out our friend Alan Kessler. He has got his, the Chainsaw Mixed Series of Poker. It's going to take place October 17th through the 26th at the Orleans. These are moderate buy-ins, like $400 price point, $600 price point, that sort of thing. But you can play all sorts of different mixed games. There's triple draw, 08, Big O, horse, you name it. It's probably on the schedule. Connor, I know you dabble in the mixed games and you like the Orleans. Do you think you might make a trip down there for this Chainsaw Festival?
I don't know. I do like playing mixed games, but I'm so horrible at them. I played one 08 tournament at Orleans, and I got there early, start of registration, and I somehow lasted like an hour and a half. I don't even know how that's possible in a limit game. Our colleague Callum Grant has actually had some success in the Orleans mixed game fields. I believe this summer he chopped 2 events or something like that, got second in one of them. So I don't know. There are good mixed game players among us, but I don't consider myself one of them.
And Mike, I know you. You're not a mixed game guy, really, right? I mean, this isn't the sort of thing.
I play a little mixed,
Yeah.
a little mixed here and there, but no, this is not going to entice me to play. I don't think. Could be wrong.
Well, it will entice a lot of the mixed game scene players in Vegas. Alan Kessler. We got the schedule up on PokerNews.com. I will link to it in the show notes. And the one thing you can rest assured of is that it will be good structures, right? You'll get some bang for your buck because that is what Kessler is all about. It needs to be Chainsaw approved. And I hope this episode is Chainsaw approved, Alan, because sometimes you can be a dick. Connor, let's talk about, before we wrap up this episode of the Poker News Podcast, you recently released a new episode of your show, Life Outside Poker, in which you actually talked to numerous guests, including Michael Mizrachi, who we talked about earlier. I actually watched the episode last night and sat down. Tell us about what you did and what they can expect.
Yeah, well, first, Chad, I won't be having any Kessler slander. He did take me to my first NFL game, so he's kind of,
Oh, that was nice, him.
He's done very nice things. But yeah, so I've got a new Life Outside Poker coming out. This one's a little interesting. Like you mentioned, there are actually multiple guests on this episode. So the main one who I talked to is Munir Taiju, who's a Swedish player. You guys may know him as the player who humped a chair during the World Series of Poker main event this year. Maybe you didn't see the clip, Mike, but it was an interesting hand where he bluffed Michael Mizrachi. I think it was on day 5. He actually wasn't bluffing because he had the best hand, but he thought he was bluffing and, had this elaborate celebration. So he had a few viral moments at the WSOP, but the reason I talked to him is he's the founder of this new no filter poker series that's going on over in the Baltic region. And kind of like with what he was doing in the main event, it's focused on making poker entertaining, making people comfortable at the table and just having like lots of banter and things like that. So he was actually kind enough for this episode to bring in a few of the poker heavyweights who are helping him promote this event. And they're going to be at the upcoming Baltic Region Championship that's coming up in October. So I got to speak to Scotty Nguyen, Michael Mizrachi, who I already mentioned, and then also Finnish poker legend Juha Helppi. Hope I pronounced that one right, Chad.
You did. You nailed it. And, I do have a clip to give the viewers a little taste about what the episode's like. But before we do, Connor or Mike, do you want to, well, Mike might not have seen the clip. So Connor, do you want to demonstrate the chair humping for those who might not have seen it?
Yeah, sure.
I'm just,
Nice.
I thought you were going to do it, actually.
I thought so,
you almost
too.
called my bluff.
Pretty disappointed.
All right, well, check out this clip from the latest Life Outside Poker.
Who would you say is the best poker player who you've ever played against?
Have to be 3 guys. Phil Ivey, Daniel, and Phil Hellmuth. I love to play those three guys. I love to make them walk away and scratch hit their head like, oh my God, I let Scotty set me up again, you know? That's what poker is all about. Friend is friend, business is business. So when you play, if I don't knock him out, he gonna try to knock me out. So if we dance together, if we in the same hand, only one come out winner. So it don't matter. But that's those 3 guys I have the most fun to play with.
All right, so there you have it. You can check out the full episode on the PokerNews YouTube channel right now and the audio-only versions on all major podcasting platforms. Gentlemen, before we wrap up this episode, I tweeted this weekend that I bought a new hat, hence the hat that I'm wearing. I was down in Miami for the Miami Dolphins Monday Night Football game against the New York Jets. Shout out to WSOP bracelet winner Gershon Distenfeld, who donates all his winnings to charity. One of the greatest guys I know. He's a New York Jets fan. He lives down there. He invited me down and took me to the game with his family. It was awesome. It was the first win for the Miami Dolphins. Tyreek broke his leg, which really sucked. And I think I'm cursed because I was there for that. And I was there a couple years ago when Tua, had his severe concussion for the first time. But it was a great time. And it actually came just a few days after Connor, Tyler, and Adam went to see Mötley Crüe.
That was really cool, Chad. I know that you've recently become a major fan of Mötley Crüe, and it was a bucket list item for you. I've been a big fan since I was 13, 14 years old. That's probably when I first saw them. I think 2011. Saw them a second time in 2015. So it's been 10 years. They're sounding great. They've got a new guitarist, and it was really good to see them. And I'm happy you got to finally see them, Chad.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought they did really well. And our tickets, I don't know why, when I bought them, for some reason, I didn't think they were the greatest, and they ended up being like 3rd row. So it was quite amazing.
It was basically front row, the way the stage like kind of wrapped around us. So it was awesome.
Yeah. Mike, I was thinking when I was going to talk about this, planning out this episode, like I've known you for a long time, but I know zero about your musical taste and the sort of thing that you listen to. So I thought I'd ask, like, what's on Mike Holtz's playlist?
Yeah, do you know the song Banana Phone? No. I listen to a lot of different stuff, honestly. Mostly rap, a lot of rock. My sister's favorite band was Mötley Crüe growing up. I was an AC/DC guy.
Okay.
But more of like at the gym, like Slipknot, System of a Down, stuff like that. Lots of rap though. Lots of gangster and trap rap. I like to swag out,
Yeah. Well, and you're looking good, Mike. You've been hitting the gym. I know most of the time whenever I text you, you're like at the gym, and
yes.
Yeah, looking good, my man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. However, I've gained like 15 pounds back because of my love for candy, which I am attempting to quell. Speaking of Tyreek Hill broke his leg, do you think it's going to make him more or less likely to beat all the women?
Well, he's certainly not going to be kicking their ass, I'd say.
That's true. He's kind of a bad person, man. It's not great.
Maybe there's odds on that Kaleshi site or whatever that is.
Oh yeah, Kalshi. Yeah.
All right, boys. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of the PokerNews Podcast. I'm going to be back in Vegas next week, so I'll be back in studio recording there, and I think Brian Oken from the Oken game on the Venetian Poker Live is going to sit down and do a special episode with me in which we'll talk about the cash game scene at the Venetian. It's kind of a behind the scenes look. So I'm pretty excited about that. Ben Ludlow should be back for a couple episodes too, Mike. And then I'll see you. I told you when I'm in town, I'll hit the gym with you.
Sick with it. Now, I am going to Texas for the WPT on like the 10th or the 13th or something like that. 10th or the 13th, 9th or the 13th. So I will be leaving the state of Nevada. What a shock.
Who's going to watch your dog?
I don't know. That's who knows.
You might ask the guy sitting to your right. I'm just saying. He's got his own house now.
I'm on the other side of town now, but it is a possibility.
I didn't realize that was even possible. But yeah, I'm with the shits.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for episode 919 of the Poker News Podcast. Do us a favor, like, subscribe, give us the review. And remember, the MSPT podcast presented by Poker News is part of the NAPT Gold Pass giveaway. So check that out. You can earn an extra entry by leaving a review there. There's an article on Poker News that describes the different ways in which you can enter. But the main one is getting the code word. I am Chad Holloway for Connor Richards and Mike Holtz at Level 9 Studio in Las Vegas. Until next time, we'll keep a seat open for you.